Thanks for watching, Margaret. So, here's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Bitcoin of healthcare. Okay, so, Prince, how are you? So, I want to talk about the Bitcoin of healthcare. And I've just come across, today, I came across this. In fact, I was listening to these guys on a podcast. They were explaining exactly what they do. So, Prince, this one is called Shivom, and I'll just make it bigger there so you can see. So this one is called Shivom, and these guys have come up with a Bitcoin application in the healthcare sector. We all know what Bitcoin can do. Bitcoin is not just cryptocurrency. A lot of us are still confused about what Bitcoin is. But Bitcoin is not just about cryptocurrencies. In fact, the blockchain, okay, which by the way is not the technology behind Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the technology behind the blockchain. So the blockchain is basically a public ledger, which means it's just it's a record, actually. It's a record of um, any transactions in any part of our lives, really, which we can use in order to make our lives better. And this is just one of those things that I've come across today, and I wanted to share with all of you. So on their website, I'm just going to look at the website. I'm not going to look at the actual white paper. I'll show you what the white paper looks like, but I'm not going to go through the white paper itself because there's enough on the website from the white paper itself which explains exactly what this is about. So they say that the future is your genome. You need to own it. So your genome is basically your genetic blueprint. It's what your genes say about yourself, your appearance, what it says about what sort of um, diseases you're likely to get, especially as you grow older. You may become more prone to certain illnesses. So they say it's a unique and empowering project. Shivom will enable DNA data donors to collaborate with revolutionary change makers in biotechnology, healthcare industry, and government ordained research institutes and contribute to an unprecedented era of medical marvels. So if you think about what people have been able to do with the knowledge of what their DNA says about them, you will find that those people who can afford to have their DNA analyzed have actually been able to find out and to prevent certain diseases that they might contract as time goes on. So this technology is not available to ordinary people because it's very expensive. Now, with the blockchain, which is an application of Bitcoin or the technology, in fact, Bitcoin is the technology behind the blockchain. So with this information on a blockchain, people are able to join, they're able to contribute their information, their genetic information, and they're able to get rewarded for just sharing that information. And also, they are almost guaranteed. I'll say almost because we've not had a data breach so far in terms of the blockchain, but who knows, in the future something might happen. But what it means is that you're guaranteed that your information is secure and you decide whether to share it or not to share it. Okay, so I want to touch on a few points here. The first one being that it's a unique and empowering project. We know that. So it will enable DNA data donors. So me and you could be the data donors to collaborate, which means we collaborate with revolutionary change makers in biotechnology, which means it's you and me collaborating with the change makers, the people who know what they are doing in biotechnology, in the healthcare industry and in government-ordained research institutes, and then contribute to an unprecedented era of medical marvels. Okay, so that's just the first part there. So I wanted to go through this. The objective is make Shivom the largest genomic data hub on the planet. Contributors own their genomic data, control the right to access it, and receive rewards if they choose to share. So it's a rewards-based system, just like Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin, you get rewarded if you share your data. If you mine for Bitcoin, you get a reward. But in this case, if you share your data, then you get rewarded for it. But it also helping you. While you're sharing, you're also getting help. So if you want to subscribe, you can do that right there. I'll just blow this up a little bit so that you can see what I'm looking at. So make Shivom the largest genomic data hub on the planet. Contributors own their genomic data, control the right to access it, and receive rewards if they choose to share it. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to the next part, which is this one here. I'll just blow that up a little bit. So Shivom is creating a genomics ecosystem on the blockchain. Okay, so a genomic ecosystem on the blockchain, and this is what the ecosystem is going to look like. We will offer an open marketplace for healthcare providers to air their apps and services alongside genomic data analytics and personalized medicine. Okay, so also goes on to say that they will transform genomic data into usable information, break down data silos, which is a situation where data finds it difficult to move along the healthcare chain, help accelerate clinical trials, facilitate drug research and development. So if we've got more information, if we've got more data, more DNA information from as many people as possible, that is going to accelerate research, and it's going to facilitate the acceleration of clinical trials, and also going to help with the research and development of drugs which we can use to cure certain illnesses. So sponsor sequencing projects to get access to relevant data. Okay, then it says join the conversation, and here you can just watch a YouTube video of of them explaining just exactly how this is going to work. Okay, so what is their vision? Let's look at the vision here. So the vision, let me blow that up a bit. Accelerate the age of genomics, which is basically the science of genetics or genetic information. Every one of the 7.6 billion people on Earth has a unique code held within their genes that unlocks the secrets to appearance, ancestry, intellectual capabilities, health, and fitness. But this code's ability to reveal predisposition to disease has been overlooked. Okay, so we've done everything we can in terms of healthcare, but there is something which is within our genes which can help us to help ourselves with our healthcare, but because it's so expensive, it's a precise, very precision. It's a precision science, and it's very expensive, and so we've not been able to take advantage of this. We know about the impact that it can have on healthcare, but we've not been able, and up to this point, we've not been able to fully take advantage of it. And with this, what these guys are doing is they are trying to be as inclusive. We've had projects which are using the genome or genetic information to help and deal with healthcare issues. But because they are so expensive, not many people can afford it. But imagine if you can just, with a swab in your mouth, just take your genetic, your DNA, and then be able to participate in this ecosystem. and then be able by donating your information, you are getting paid for it. Okay, so let's see. But this possibility has been overlooked, so that's where the problem is. And then now it is the time for considered community-wide development for the genomical challenges of the coming decade. Currently, a few key players hold the monopoly on genomic data and make huge profits from selling it to third parties, usually without sharing the earnings with the data donor. And this is the exact problem that we see that Facebook is having. Mark Zuckerberg has been arraigned before the Senate. They're being asked questions. There's been a data breach. But at the same time, even without the breach, Facebook is able to sell our information, is able to use this attention which I'm providing with this video, and is able to sell adverts to people that want to advertise because they know that the attention right now is on Facebook. So they're able to make a lot of money for the investors, but we are not getting anything. So the same thing's been happening with these guys who currently hold the monopoly on global health. They have this information which they are selling to third parties, but they are not sharing the earnings with the data donor. So me as the donor, you as the donor, you are not getting anything out of the I'm told that every time you go into a GP or to a hospital, A&E, every time you go there, and they are getting more and more information about all sorts of different people, and they are able to compile that information as big data and use it to sell data to companies that manufacture drugs, so that they know exactly what sort of drugs to manufacture based on the information that they are getting from the people who are ill and who are going into hospitals, but we get nothing from it. Okay, so this project is aimed at correcting that kind of an issue. Okay, let's see the next bit here, which is Jumpstart genome-based precision medicine. We are changing the dynamics of the global healthcare market. We are utilizing the most advanced technologies, including blockchain, cloud computing, genome sequencing, artificial intelligence, and big data analytics to bring medical genomics into a new era. So taking advantage of advanced technologies such as blockchain. And blockchain is it's the game changer here, because it's enabling individuals like you and me to be able to participate by providing the data, but also getting a reward for the data that we're providing. We already have cloud computing, we already have genome sequencing, we've done that. We are developing artificial intelligence, we have big data analytics that could improve everybody else's lives. Okay, so this is a game changer, guys, and it's something that I think we can pay attention to, and then ensure the next level of data privacy. So we are at the forefront of data security. We use state-of-the-art cryptography to add additional security levels to our platform that go well beyond blockchain technology for decentralization, protecting each user's data from cyber criminals. Okay, so if we're going to put our data on these platforms, and this is the problem that we have now with the internet, because the internet is not very good at looking after our information. And we've seen this with Facebook, we've seen this with Amazon, we've seen this with all the major. So there are two types of companies right now. Those companies who have been caught compromising our data, and those companies who've not yet been caught, but they will be caught. Okay, they will be caught if they don't go if they don't become decentralized. But the whole problem here is that these guys are centralized, which means that their information, cyber criminals know exactly where the information is, and they can just go for that information, and they are able to go after the information, and they are able to compromise it. And this is the problem we're having. But with this technology, with cryptography, with decentralization, with blockchain technology, your medical information is safer. And the other thing is, as well, guys, that we've come to a position where the Internet of Things is beginning to accelerate in terms of its adoption. And so, because of that, there is a lot more information which is being collected. Imagine your own toilet collecting information about maybe what you need to reduce eating, or maybe what is lacking in your diet. Okay, imagine that information being carried across the internet, an internet which is insecure, which is not secure, which can be compromised. And imagine that data being used against yourself. But with blockchain, that data is a lot safer than it is at the moment. Okay, so this is groundbreaking. It's genomics for everyone. It's making sure that genomics is not a service for the privileged, but it's a service that the poorest of the poor is able to access by just agreeing to give up their DNA information through just maybe a swab in your mouth. Okay, so accurate, comprehensive interpretation of your genome will only be possible when the biomedical community has analyzed enough genome sequences representing the full range of natural human variation. However, today, many ethnic and geographical populations are still unrepresented in public databases. We're providing the next era of genomics by creating a global personalized healthcare ecosystem that transforms lives. So the problem is that at the moment, poor people have been unable to participate in some of the groundbreaking. In fact, they've not been able to contribute their own information to groundbreaking research, which can help them in the future. And so with this, they're able to do that by just taking a swab. Okay, so these guys are all over the place. They're on WeChat, they're on Telegram, they are on, this is a Bitcoin platform. They are on Discord here, on Reddit, on also on YouTube, on Medium, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on what is this, Instagram, and also on Steemit. Steemit is on the blockchain, so it's a good thing that it's also on Steemit, which is on the blockchain. So let me just show you what you can also find on their website. Obviously, the product here, this is what the product is, the Shivom ecosystem. I think we've looked at that. Look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful picture there to show the decentralized nature of the information gathering and processing. And then you've got a video there that you can watch. It takes you to YouTube if you want to go over to YouTube. And then you can sign up here if you're happy with signing up for the service. But I wanted to look at the documentation here because you've got the white paper. This is the white paper, and you can go through the white paper, read it. I haven't actually read the white paper, but most of the things I'm talking about from the website are also in the white paper. So you can go through the white paper, and just to give you a clue of what's on the white paper, you've got the abstract there. In recent years, advanced technologies such as genomics, artificial intelligence, and blockchain have reached the potential to significantly improve global healthcare, blah, blah, blah. So this is actually everything that we've been talking about anyway, but it's important to read these white papers if you want to understand the applications of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not just cryptocurrency. It's not just, oh, Bitcoin money is gone. It's gone up to 10,000, 12,000, 19,000, and then it's come down to 5,000. It's not about blockchain. Bitcoin is not just about that. Bitcoin is also applications such as this one, such as Shivom, and you can just read this yourself. And let me see. Okay, then you've got this here, which is the global genomics ecosystem. What was this? What was this? What was this? Okay, let me just close that, and then I'll open the next document, which is the pitch. Okay, so this is the pitch, and you can also just read the pitch and find out exactly. It's going to give you a much better understanding of what this is about, okay, of what this technology is about. And then you've got the executive summary, so you can also look at the executive summary. So this is the executive summary, and you can just go through it as well and find out exactly how Shivom works. So it's you, it's the healthcare professionals, it's the companies that do research into medicine and stuff like that. Look, the more genetic information they have, the more of the gene pool they have. It means the better they are able to come up with medications which are able to then be useful to as many people as possible. Okay, or be more specific. You can actually be very specific if you've got information such as this one. Then the team is important. There are many scams out there, so be careful. You can read through, you can look at their profiles. Excel, for example, the chief executive and co-founder, over 20 years of research and development leadership experience in genomics, epigenetics, biomarker discovery, bioinformation technology, aging and longevity. Longevity, that's an interesting one. I think we can talk about that one day. Can we live up to 500 years old? Can we live up to 1,000? Okay, so that's what longevity is all about. And then for the whole team here, you can have a look at their profiles and see if you're happy with what they've accomplished so far. I like that. I like this this little diagram there. And then you've got the investors, and then the partners, and then the partnerships. So it's important to go through that. If you really want to go all in, you just need to do that. Then in the news, you've got the Indian government so Shivom signs a memorandum of understanding with the Indian government. India is quite at the forefront of blockchain. Okay, they are trying to implement as much as possible. Former Prime Minister of Estonia, Taavi Rõivas, to join as a member of Shivom's Innovation Council. So that's giving these guys more credibility. Shivom formally announced its strategic alliance with Genetic Technologies Limited and strategic technical partnership established with Ocean Protocol and Spherity Protocol. Okay, guys, so I've come to the end of this particular Facebook Live. There are no comments so far that I could respond to. I know Prince has made some comments there, just thanking me for what I'm doing today. So I'd like to thank Margaret. I'd like to thank Paul, Jay, Simon, Dion, and Richard. Thank you guys for tuning in. As soon as I finish this, it's going to be live on my Facebook. It's going to be on my Facebook wall, but I'm also going to post it straight away onto my YouTube channel, so you could watch this again on the YouTube channel. So again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you in the next Facebook Live.